Greetings again, sir. It is bottling day. Crystal, you can walk through. She's a little camera shy, I think. So I was just going to show you a couple things. All right, I'm preparing my priming sugar. There we go. 16 ounces of water boiling. My priming sugar is about 5 ounces. I'm just going to throw all that in there. Yeah, that's yummy. I typically actually have done, that's as soon as this dissolves, that's about been it for me. I'm going to bring this back to a boil though. I read some instructions from other people that what they do is they actually boil this down for about 10 minutes. I guess that maybe that concentrates it or something, but I'm going to try that this time. So I'm going to boil this for 10 minutes and then take it off and add it to the bottling bucket. In the meantime, you can also see I have sanitized my bottles already. Washed and sanitized. I washed and sanitized in the sink there. This is on a bottle tree. If you look up a bottle tree, you'll find out what I'm using. It's got these little hooks on them. This holds about 45 bottles, so I have some extras drying over on the side. This is not mandatory, but it makes it a little easier for drying because they drain a little bit. I'm actually going to upgrade this at some point and instead get something called a fast rack, which is a newer item for holding bottles, and it's actually a little more sanitizer friendly because it doesn't have hooks that you put inside the bottles. They actually rest, and the plastic part of the case only touches the outside of the bottle. I'm going to get that pretty soon. Alright, so let's see here. I'm about to boil. So I'm going to boil this about 10 minutes, and in the meantime, I'm going to sanitize. And this is what I'm going to sanitize. My bottling bucket with siphon. These are my auto siphon pieces. I'm going to sanitize these in here. I'm going to sanitize, this is my bottling tube. It's got the little nozzle at the end. And my length of hose. The other thing that I'm going to do is when I'm done sanitizing this, I'm going to make sure I run sanitizer through that spigot. So I'm actually going to turn that spigot down when I'm doing it and open it up and let sanitizer rinse through the spigot just for a second. I'm going to fill this up with sanitizer when I'm done and put my bottle caps in this for the whole process. So that my bottle caps stay sanitized when I'm using them. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up my, I'm actually going to use my boiling pot, and I'm going to transfer sanitizer water from here into my boiling pot, which I'm going to keep next to me. And in the boiling pot, if I need to re-sanitize some of this equipment, I'm just going to use that for a quick re-sanitize since I have to empty this to use it. Alright, I will check with you in a few minutes. Hello, sir. Alright, what I have... Oh, hold on. What I have is my boiled 16 ounces of corn sugar and water, and it's just cooled for a minute. I don't really need to do much. I'm going to put that into my empty bottling bucket, making sure that the spigot is closed. Alright, make sure the spigot's closed. I'm going to open my fermenter carefully, and I transported this in here as carefully as possible. You kind of want to avoid shaking this as much as possible. You want to keep the aeration down. All right. Using my auto siphon, I'm going to connect up here. These are all sanitized. I'll make sure they're basically empty of sanitizer if I can. Bring them out. Drop that in there. All right. I'm going to set my tube in. Hold this in place and give it just about 2 pumps, and it's flowing. I'm going to basically hold this here for the next 10 minutes or so that it takes to actually drain. I wanted to show you a couple of bottles that I have. I have all my bottles, they're already sanitized. I lay them out here on the floor. I have a couple, half of these are Grolsch bottles. They have the flip tops with the rubber gaskets on them. I got these from friends. I bought a couple beers, but I got them from friends. You want to try not to get anything in there too. But you can replace the gaskets. You can get it at your local home shop. Extra gaskets if you end up with some of these. I have a couple bigger bottles, and I like these because I don't have to worry about the sanitizing the lids, the caps. They actually go on easier than the caps. I really like them. So I'm going to do as many of those as I can. I have about 55 bottles here, I think, but I'm not going to use them all. You want to avoid splashing in the bottling bucket as much as possible. So we're draining very gently. It's kind of swirling as it gets in there, which is fine. Here we are, getting a little askew, but not to worry. Getting near the bottom, I'm going to tilt and try to pick up as few. Oh man, that's a lot of crap. Getting a lot of sediment in there. I might just stop it there because there's a whole lot of sediment caught up because I dragged. I ended up dragging accidentally. It's only like 2 or 3 beers, but I don't want to get all that crap. Oh, so much. Oh, don't get in there. So much crap. Oh. Yeah, I got to hold. So what I did is, when I was tilting this to get to the end of it, I accidentally dragged the auto siphon across the bottom, and you'll see there's a yeast cake at the bottom. And when I did that, it went into the auto siphon, going into my beer. Not really what I want, but I'll live. Just about, actually. About 1 minute. Crystal's going to help me with bottling today. I'm going to try to rinse this out of all that crud now with my extra fluid. All right. Yeah, I only lost about 2 or 3 beers worth. Not get all that extra stuff. So with that in there, I want to carefully lift this up. Turn the spigot back to face down. It's not turned on yet, of course. And Crystal's going to be bottling today using this. I broke one of these last bottling session because basically I got over it like this, and it was early on, I just rammed down and this like broke off, and then we ran around town to 2 friends' houses to get extra bottles and to borrow one of these and all kinds of stuff. So you want to be gentle until you figure out how much action this actually takes. I've got my caps and sanitizer in here. So after I fill up a bottle, I'm going to pass it off to Crystal. She's going to cap it and set it aside. When I do this by myself, I basically do the same setup. I just fill up every bottle, and then I do the capping if I'm on my own. I don't, fill one up and then cap it, and fill one up and cap it if I'm on my own. But I have help, so that's good. All right, you ready to give it a go? All right, I'm open up here. Oh, could you get me a pint glass, please? You need an empty glass. This bottling cane has a little thing at the end. Sometimes it gets stuck. So you'll lift this out of the bottle, and that will be stuck up, and it will be spraying beer out. And the best thing to do is to have an extra glass right next to you so you can drop it down to the bottom. If you just tap it on the bottom, that usually loosens it and it stops again. But you probably will spray a little bit of beer around. All right, sugar's in there, ready to go. Turning on my spigot. And I guess Crystal's going to bottle over here, since I'll have to handle these things. She'll not really be on camera. I like to start with my big bottles to make sure I get those full. Oh, I got to pass you the things, huh? Here you go. The other thing is you want to leave some, like an inch or two at the top. And remember that when you take the cane out, it'll actually reduce the volume. So I actually fill it up right to like the middle of the neck usually, and then pull out.
I just grab.
Yeah, pull out my cane, and that usually drops the volume enough that you're good. Keep going. Yeah. If you can't, you can set it to the side, because we're about to work on the Grolsch bottles anyway. There you go, you got it. That was it. Yeah. Once the bucket gets low enough, I'm going to tilt it very gently. Try not to rock it because I have all that sediment at the bottom. If you do a better job racking to this bottling bucket, you don't have to worry about that. All that sediment's not necessarily going to harm the beer. It's just going to mean it's just going to accumulate at the bottom of the bottle. So no matter what, all your home brews will have a little bit of sediment.
This one I just dropped it on.
You can set it to the side. I always have extra caps ready because sometimes they bend and they don't actually clamp down. All right, one final piece of advice. Label your beer caps to help you remember what they are, especially if you're doing more than one batch at a time. That one in the middle is one I did last spring. That's my dry Irish stout, hence the Shamrock. The VP there on the right, that's my vanilla porter I just did. And on the left, that's going to be the one I just did today. So I'm going to draw on all the caps with, I'm going to just draw a little orange pumpkin shape. I usually do initials, but I did this one, it was a lot of fun. The one thing I don't do is I'm not going to write on the Grolsch bottle caps. So I won't write on these because I want to reuse those. In my whole box of Grolsch ones, I'm putting a piece of paper in here which has a dual purpose. It tells me what the beer is in case I forget. It also covers up the last bit of light that might get in there. So I'm going to put something on top of this anyway. But yeah, the other thing I design little labels and I use regular sticker paper and put them on. So that's always fun. But it's a good idea to initial your caps to remember what you got. Right. One more last thing. Any bottle caps that you had sanitized but didn't get to use, you don't have to throw them away. I just put them in a baggie and keep them for later. The thing is, you want to dry them thoroughly. So, because I have had bottle caps that started to like rust because I put them in a bag and closed it up and they were wet. So dry them off thoroughly and then put them in a bag and save them for next time. Right?